And a warm welcome again to the big match. This week, again, the crowds at league games are buoyant and bubbling, and no wonder, judging by the 3 matches we've got for you on the programme today. In the studio, also, the new manager of Brighton and Hove Albion, Brian Clough, and with him, of course, Malcolm Allison of Crystal Palace. The 3 matches are Fulham against Bristol City, with a sparkling second half from the second division there, and we shall back that up with Manchester United against Chelsea and Derby County against Queen's Park Rangers. We start the action today, though, down by the river on London's prettiest ground, Craven Cottage. That's Fulham against Bristol City, and for Fulham it's been a bad few weeks when a promising start to the season has foundered. But their team today sees the return of Steve Earle after a touch of flu, with Malcolm Webster continuing in goal for the injured Peter Miller. As for Bristol City, they field the side that drew with Coventry in midweek in a League Cup tie. They also have a deputy goalkeeper, young Len Bond, getting another chance in place of the injured Ray Cashley. A young side full of ambition and high in the table. 3 important milestones in the Fulham side today. Les Barrett is making his 300th league appearance. We've also got Barry Lloyd, his 200th first-team appearance. Malcolm Webster, the goalkeeper, his 100th appearance. And I'm not sure how many Bobby Gould has made for Bristol City, but he's their leading scorer with 9. The crowd, though, now waits for the start, and the referee is D. Richardson of Blackburn.
So Fulham then kick off, attacking the goal to our left in the white shirts and black shorts. Bristol City in red with white shorts. Fulham, having lost their last 4 league games, now find themselves, after a promising start to the season, in 15th place. Bristol City themselves very handily placed 4th in the table. Trevor Tainton, their number 7, but the ball, in fact, going off Les Barrett, and Tainton with the throw for Bristol City. Here's Fear. Went penalised there for the tackle on the number 11, Keith Fear. So a free kick to Bristol City. Lacey, Gow, and Drysdale failing to keep it in, so it's another throw for Fulham. Cutbush with it. Earle. Oh, he didn't give enough of that to Cutbush, but Cutbush showed great determination there for Fulham, and coming away with it now on a good run that we used to associate with George Cohen, but Ritchie was back very quickly. And a corner to Fulham on the far side. Good run there by John Cutbush. So Lacey again on this goal line, towering a good 3 or 4 inches above Len Bond in the Bristol goal. Conway with the corner, flicked on there by the number 8 Earle. Back now with Barry Lloyd. And now Busby having his shirt tugged, and it's gone wide in any case, but his shirt was pulled by a Bristol City defender, and neither referee nor linesman spotted it. Fear missing the header. Went was behind him. Conway back for Cutbush, who's seen a lot of the action so far, but that wasn't a very good piece of it for him. Back for Drysdale again, and now Gow. Very industrious in the middle of the field. Oh, Sweeney half came for that and then stopped. And really from that moment of hesitation had always lost the ball, and now here's Earle, faced by Rogers. Busby is in the middle, and Earle has got Rogers going all ways. Still with Earle, and he hit it over, and he hit it wide, and the linesman on this side was flagging. For offside, I would have thought, against Busby. But some good play there by Steve Earle. He really had Rogers going both ways. And the linesman flagged as Earle was shooting. Cutbush with Fulham's throw. Good piece of running there by Conway to make himself available. Cutbush now. Mallory to Slough. Being pushed back by the sheer work rate of these Bristol City players, hustling and harrying all the while. Really is no easy ride for any Fulham player in possession this afternoon, but here's Earle. Cross deep again towards Barry Lloyd. He came in so well. Busby was right in there too. And finally it was Sweeney who got it away. That's a couple of occasions that Steve Earle looks to be the man who might find a way through this Bristol defence. But here's Lloyd. Barrett. Lloyd again to Mullery. Really busying to their job now of Fulham. Rogers header away. Mullery. But now there's Ritchie. Lacey caught a little bit in two minds as Gould goes off. And now Bobby Gould is away. Oh, good play there by Paul Wendt as Gould tried to turn it across. Gould fighting on though, and that time it was Lacey who got it away. The shot on the turn, and it almost got there from Keith Fear. Well, he had to take his chance quickly, did Fear, after Gould had made such a tremendous run there, having tricked Mullery. Fulham's throw. Busby. And now it's Wendt. Lloyd, nice little dummy there for Barrett, and hit well there by Barrett, down by the post, and Bond really had to get down quickly for that one. From Barrett. Bond, the lad who spent the whole of yesterday in bed with tonsillitis and was doubtful right until lunchtime. Well, a couple of Fulham defenders getting in each other's way, and it's finally Paul Wendt who gets it only as far as Drysdale. Trapped that very well on his chest and found the number 8. And the game, in fact, should have been stopped way back because the ball had gone momentarily out of play. But it's with Drysdale again now for Bristol City. Gow inside for Fear. Slip past one, slip past another. The cross is stopped by Lacey. Gow again. Cutbush couldn't really make the right sort of contact, and it'll be now for Drysdale to cross it once more towards Emmanuel, and that was a good header by Emmanuel that had for the moment Webster going the wrong way. As the whistle goes for half-time, fairly undistinguished first half that remains goalless. But I should think there's a lot of talking that will be going on in the dressing room at half-time from manager Alex Stock of Fulham and Alan Dix of Bristol City. Still so much more to come on the big match this afternoon with Brian Clough and Malcolm Allison. And the half-time score here at Craven Cottage reads Fulham 0, Bristol City 0, and we'll bring you the second half in a couple of minutes. So the lights at Craven Cottage on for the first time on a Saturday this season. A sign that winter really is drawing in now, and it'll be Bristol City's turn to kick off. They now will be attacking the goal to our left. Still 0-0. And Emmanuel now for Bristol City. City, in fact, who scored only one goal on this ground in their last 5 visits. And really haven't shown too many opportunities, or haven't had too many opportunities to increase on that rather dismal record. But at the same time, Fulham also, against a very stern Bristol City defence, have not had too many opportunities in their own right. There's Mullery, put under a little bit of pressure there, but not conceding the corner. It's with Steve Earle. The long ball there to Busby, turned in this time for Lloyd. I think one of the most impressive things about Bristol City is the way that they have hustled Fulham from beginning to end. If they don't run out of steam, they've got every chance of at least taking a point. There's Fear. So Malcolm Webster with the clearance for Fulham. Earle's header. And Drysdale's. Paul Wendt. Went past Gow. And the referee thought that was serious enough to pull it up and have a word with Gow for a rather late challenge there on Paul Went. Barrett. Lloyd through the legs of Tainton, but it didn't get through to Barrett again. Earl making a good run towards the touchline to try and get away from the Bristol defence. Lloyd now. Earl. Across there, and Feary, yes! Oh, it's put there! And it goes to Conway, the man who finally touched it home. And the desolate figure there of Len Bond, because it was his mistake as the cross came over. He got a hold of it and dropped it, and Conway had the simplest of tasks. Goalkeeper's error, Fulham's goal. 1-0. So Conway, the man who scored it, and Len Bond, the man who really conceded it, the man who was in bed with tonsillitis yesterday, and they're going across to the linesman, and whether they persuaded the referee now to go across to the linesman as well. And so we must wait to see whether this is a valid goal or not. Now, a long, long discussion and a dramatic moment that decides whether it's a goal or not. And the goal will stand. So Bristol City are behind. Poor old Len Bond, he must be feeling desolate now. He's still only 19 years old, remember, and Alan Dix, the manager, was telling me that he spent the whole of yesterday in bed with tonsillitis. And with Cashley, the first-team goalkeeper, the regular first-team goalkeeper, also out injured, there really was a bit of bother there for Bristol. But now they've got to spring a few men forward. Here's Merrick coming forward. There's a good ball from Cutbush now to Busby. This could be very dangerous now. Earl is in the middle, and Busby is taken far, far too long. Earl in the middle, who'd run to a good position, is furious with the young number 9, and Busby won't be very pleased with himself either. A throw to Bristol City. And another one. Sweeney. It's as far forward almost as Jerry Sweeney's gone all afternoon. Well, the players, the Fulham players, aren't happy with the referee with that decision. Giving the corner to Bristol City, they felt that it should have been a goal kick. We were much too far, really, to say who was right, who was wrong. The referee is the man who counts. Ritchie nodding it back in again. That could be very dangerous. And a good dive there by Malcolm Webster as Gould went in on him, ducking very neatly to one side. Drysdale, the game really livened up now. Sweeney to Tainton. Bristol really have got a lot of men forward now. Taking on his fullback so well, Trevor Tainton here. And still taking him on. Looking just for that yard that'll give him the cross, and finally has to concede for the corner. The corner conceded by Slough. Keith Fear will go across and take it to number 11. David Rogers again right up. He and Ritchie will be the two big men that he'll aim for. And Merrick's in there too. It'll come for Gow. Played gently there to Ritchie. Crossed in again there. That needs a fist away by Webster, and that's just what it got. And now it's Conway. And now playing for Earl. Now this could be very interesting as well as Gow tries to come back. Still with Steve Earl. Still with Earl. Having his shirt tugged and still with Earl. Crossed beautifully. And a goal! Oh, and a magnificent goal for Fulham. Scored by Busby and made in the most magnificent fashion by Steve Earl. What a tremendous goal. No wonder they're hugging Steve Earl. He ran more than half the length of the field, jinking past one challenge after the other. Wasn't selfish enough to shoot himself. Crossed it for Busby, and that makes it 2-0. Busby the scorer, the man who made it, unquestionably Stevie Earl. Well, that's much more like it for Fulham, and really it puts a great burden now on Bristol City. The side at the start of this game lying 4th in the 2nd division. Tainton. Bristol, who defended so very well in the first half with a lot of organisation, now need to attack with a lot of flair. The corner and the catch. A touch there from his skipper, showing that they've got confidence in him as well. Malcolm Webster took it well. And now Cutbush. Cutbush again. Well, Lacey was struggling to get that one. Gould is trying to get in as well. Paul Went is shadowing him. So the Fulham bench a little happier now. They haven't had too much to cheer in the last few weeks. And the substitute waiting to come on there for Bristol City is Don Gillies. John Sinnott, the man in the middle, used to be with Chelsea. But it's Fulham at the moment. The ball too high for Conway. And now Bristol City able to bring their substitute on. I wonder if it's Emmanuel, who was injured just after half-time, who's going off. Gillies coming on after the inspection of the boots, and indeed it is Emmanuel who's going off. John Emmanuel, the Welsh international, who seemed to injure his shoulder just after half-time.
The Bristol sub, ladies and gentlemen, is Gillies.
So Gillies is on. Straight to Conway. And now it's a lovely little flick again by Conway to Busby. Into Mullery, hit first time, and my heavens, he blasted that. Bond with the goal kick. Gillies, Fear. Played for Tainton. This looks a bit promising for Bristol City. Still with Tainton. And now with Gillies. Played back there for the number 2, Sweeney, who couldn't have been more than a foot wide. Had to stop for a moment to realise that it was Sweeney, the fullback, right up there deep in that Fulham penalty area. Another example of how Bristol City are so aware of how they've got to push men forward at every opportunity. 20 minutes of the second half gone, 2-0 to Fulham. Earl with the header, and Rogers with the header. Lloyd. Barrett. This is a very good second half now. Lloyd again. Slough was trying to get in, but Lloyd was fighting on for Fulham, and now it's with Earl. Flicked it through again for Barrett, but Sweeney was right behind him. Lloyd. And Slough to Lloyd again. A little bit of a dangerous tangle there on the touchline, but Tainton coming away with it. And now it's with Sweeney. Gould, but Lacey taking it for Fulham. Brought down unfairly by Gow. Free kick to Fulham. So a man who's come down from the director's box into the trainer's bench on the left-hand side, Alan Dix, the manager of Bristol City. Barrett. That time it was Drysdale clearing a dangerous situation in that 6-yard area. I noticed that the Fulham substitute, John Fraser, is also warming up. Fraser, a defender, hoping to get on, I suppose. In fact, I think he just got on an errand for the physiotherapist, Ron Woolnough. Crossed in again there towards Steve Earle once more. There's Busby with a header. And again, just wide. And now that they've been forced to push men forward, the Bristol City defence just looking a little more frail than it did throughout the whole of the first half. Went. Gow. Merrick. A young side, Bristol City. 7 or 8 of them still in their early 20s. Here's Bobby Gould, one of the more experienced players. Lacey. Yes, and Earl was offside without question when that ball was hit forward. Tainton again. To Sweeney. Cross to his number 3, Drysdale. Gow played nicely there for Drysdale once more. This could be dangerous for Fulham. There's the shot by Gould. Webster getting down very well indeed. Fear forcing him to kick with the left foot now. Gow desperately trying to cover, and Busby, thought for the moment, had got the legs of the Bristol City player. Finds Conway instead. Mullery. Cutbush and Busby. Mullery. The momentum has really slowed now, and Bristol have had so much opportunity to get all their men back. But even so, Cutbush has gone way through on the right-hand side. Cutbush again, this time back for Mullery. Crossed in once more to Earl, stabbed nicely back to Conway, and hit beautifully by Conway. So well, in fact, that Bond could only parry it. Fulham's throw. Earl rounding his man beautifully there, Rogers. Lloyd to Mullery, Conway wanting it on the right and getting it. Cutbush, oh, he kept that in nicely. And a throw to, no, he's given it to Bristol City. And now here's Ritchie. Ahead of him is Gow. This could be a chance now for Bristol City, or rather it's Gillies the substitute. Now Tainton. Across, and it's there by Trevor Tainton. Over the heads of them all. And Bristol City have got right back into the game. So Tainton, number 7. Has scored to make it 2-1. Over the heads of them all. Only his second goal of the season, and the first came on the very first day of the season. So it's a timely moment to get on the score sheet again, and really makes it quite a finish now here at Craven Cottage. On my watch, 9 minutes to go, and Fulham leading by 2 goals to 1. Cutbush. And a goal kick. Yes, and he wants to get on with it quickly, does Len Bond. So can Bristol City now find 1 point where certainly one didn't seem to exist a couple of minutes ago? Wentz header, good and powerful. A hefty kick though by the other number 5, Rogers. This game still very much in the balance. Gow, and here's Fear in a very promising position now. This could be the equaliser, and it's saved by Webster. Beautifully indeed. Although you must say, I think that Keith Fear, having got in that position, would be just a little annoyed with himself for not making more of it. That really looked like the equaliser, though. Gow again, whose pass put Fear through. And put Fear into Fulham as well. Here's Fear again, this time for Gillies, the substitute. Stopped by Lacey. This really is on a knife edge now. A very good second division match indeed as Tainton takes it up for Bristol City. Slough was backing off him. Gow hitting one, and that deflected off a Fulham defender. beyond the reach of the diving Webster, but also over the crossbar for a corner. So Bristol City now, everybody bar their goalkeeper coming forward. On my watch, 3 minutes to go. Played for the number 3 Drysdale. A dinking cross again, Mullery getting there to nod it away. And Merrick with the shot that went over the bar. Another corner for Bristol City. Well, it's a very good finish indeed. Fulham, some 5 minutes or so ago, seemed to be strolling away with it, 2-0 up, and playing well. Bristol City have scored this surprise goal. Fulham have started to falter, and Bristol City really are going for them. Crossed in again, nodded away, that time by Paul Wait. It'll come for Fear. Trying to curl one to the far side, and up goes Merrick, and that's just over. Well, the skipper nearly came in there with a goal. Jeff Merrick. A long drop kick by Malcolm Webster, but Tainton now for Bristol City. Gould winning a free kick. And away they come again is Fear, the very last seconds of the game, and Webster once more there to hold the ball. In injury time, in fact. One or two Fulham supporters already beginning to celebrate by throwing those streamers on. It doesn't do anybody any good, though. And there goes the final whistle, and it's victory for Fulham with a very good finish. Conway the first goal for them. The second one scored by Busby, but made so beautifully by Steve Earle. And then right at the end, Trevor Tainton giving this game a marvellous twist at the end by getting one for Bristol City. But so as the players go off after a very good second half, with a disappointing first half put well behind us, we come to a final scoreline at Craven Cottage that'll certainly have all Fulham supporters talking for a little while. Fulham 2, Bristol City 1.
So in the end, it was a great day down by the river, and I can only repeat what I said here a few weeks back about Orient and their crowds. Disappointing that only 9,500 were at Craven Cottage for that game yesterday. The entertainment value in both sides, I think, was worth a much bigger audience than that. Let's get down to the game itself with Brian Clough and Malcolm Allison. I think most people were impressed with Steve Earle, a loyal one-club man who really turned it on yesterday, coming back into the side after being out with flu. Malcolm?
Here's Steve now. This is one of the great things about his game. He takes the ball very, very quickly at defenders. You see him here, checks it back on his right foot, comes inside and looks at the goal, and he shoots here and makes a bad mistake there, leaning back. He should have hit the target there, but the main point about his game is his tremendous acceleration towards defenders.
Brian?
Yeah, he comes off a defender here very well, sees the situation, looks up and lays a good long ball to Lloyd, the 10. There he is, and Lloyd does very well. He gets up, knocks it back into the middle, and that could have quite easily resulted in a goal. His left foot obviously is his best foot, and here's another example of it. He's rather lucky to get a second bite at this, but he does. Sees the situation again very quickly and lays it to the outside left, and there's Fulham on the attack again. This is one of the best movements I've seen for a few weeks. The goalkeeper punches quite well there. Conway wins it in a tackle. There's Earle there, receiving the ball just in his own half, and goes very, very quickly at the defence. The Bristol City defence are caught a little bit square here, but he goes one way, he goes the other way, and he gets into that penalty area. He takes his time now, which all good players should, and exaggerates the back pass, and the lad just knocks it into the empty net. He looked up and he did remarkably well there.
Again, a lesson of players going quickly at the defence, Malcolm.
Yes, I think that this is probably the best part of his game, and it's a great lesson to all forwards. And I think he really had a tremendous game there.
There was a minor disagreement between our two panellists about the second, or at least the first goal for Fulham, whether or not young Len Bond in the Bristol City goal was badly at fault or whether he wasn't. Brian, you thought it was a very good cross, didn't you?
It was a good cross. It came rather quickly. If the goalkeeper was at fault, it was because he took his eye off the ball and looked at the forward rushing in there. It's Conway who actually puts it in the net. I think the goalkeeper was watching him instead of watching the ball, because it went through his hands and he should have picked it up quite comfortably.
Yeah.
This is a good attacking point. This forwards who go towards goalkeepers, often do put them off and get loose balls such as that. That's a very, very good attacking point.
Bristol City yesterday were a side with a lot of ambition. They were a lot of verve about them. They hustled and they harried, and they never really gave up, although they looked to be out of the game. They came back 9 minutes from the end with this goal here. And in fact, from the normal angle, it looked as though it was quite a straightforward lob. But you'll see now there's a deflection off the number 3, Allison. There goes the ball, slightly altering its pace and direction, off the top of the crossbar, which I didn't realise before, and into the back of the net.
Yeah, that was Tainton there who crossed that ball, and I think that the defender was a little bit at fault. If he'd have tackled with his left foot, he'd have probably blocked the shot down, but he tackled with his right foot, which was his wrong one, and he just deflected off it.
Yeah. So it was a very good game down there at Craven Cottage yesterday. Brian, what sort of game did you have down, not by the river, but down by the sea at Brighton?
We had a reasonable start. It was
You've got a bit of publicity again this week.
Just 1 or 2 lines at the bottom of the pages. It was a good start. We didn't lose, that was important. The lads were extremely nervous. I was nervous, as I said to you yesterday. I'm not sure whether they're nervous of me or nervous of the crowd. I think it was a bit of each. But we can't talk too much about Brighton until we get a few results.
No, exactly. I mean, everybody's saying what a lot of work you've got to do. But was there one encouraging factor there as well?
Yes, Peter Taylor was sitting next to me.
Malcolm, I don't know who you had sitting next to you, but you've hit it again, haven't you?
Yes, we started off very well yesterday. Now we looked as if we were really going to play a game. The last 2 games we played quite well away from home. And the first 25 minutes I thought, right, we're really going to get it today. We're really going to get it together. And we created a few good chances. We played some good football. And then just before half-time we started to lose a little bit of composure. And 5 minutes after half-time they scored a goal, and we went back into a very, very negative way of playing.
Yeah, when you came to the studio this morning, Brian said to you, when's your luck going to change, Malcolm?
Well, you know, I don't think it's really when your luck's going to change. You've got to make it change, and I've got to do something about it very, very shortly, because it's very critical now.
Yeah. In fact, there were stories in the newspapers this morning where it sounds as though some of the players aren't really pulling it out for you.
Well, I wouldn't say that, really. I think that it's really confidence, you know. I mean, great players like Don Rogers was giving the ball away yesterday, making simple mistakes. And it's definitely a lack of confidence. And until, you know, we get this together, until we get over this situation, you know, we're not going to get any results. And so, you know, I mean, it's really backs to the wall now. We've really got a battle now.
Well, certainly I'd like to see things happening for you, for your players as well, but I think above all for those 22,000 faithful Palace fans who still went there yesterday. A tremendous crowd you've got, Malcolm, there. Well, before we leave Fulham, and we've spoken about the loyalty of the man like Steve Earle, I just want to mention another very loyal player from that part of London. It's Chelsea's Peter Houseman. Peter, one of the unsung heroes of the Chelsea side, I suppose, has a testimonial match against Fulham at Stamford Bridge on Tuesday night, 7:45. A chance, I suppose, for you to say thank you to Peter, and certainly to have another look at that Fulham side. We got some more action now, and if they had a sparkling finish at Fulham yesterday, they had an even better one at Old Trafford. The match is Manchester United against Chelsea and Peter Houseman. The pictures come from Granada Television. Commentator Joe had since that Chelsea are in the all-dark blue strip.
Osgood had moved out of the middle, but it was off the top of Backen's head. Wilkins. Houseman with the throw. To Osgood. Griffiths just behind him. Got a foot to it. Steve James to Morgan. Houseman making a nuisance of himself, but Morgan kept his head well. Graham. Webb for Chelsea. Finding Houseman. Baldwin going in the middle. Number 1. After 2.5 minutes, Chelsea score a goal that they threatened to already. Previously, we'd seen Baldwin streaking through the middle, and it all looked so easy as Houseman broke down the left, crossed, and there was Baldwin coming in behind the defence, and Stepney had no chance. Kemba. Wilkins. Houseman outside him. In the middle, Osgood and Baldwin. That's aimed for Osgood's head, and it's in! Again, the lack of a commanding head in the middle costs United dear. Wilkins broke down the left, gave it out to Houseman, and Houseman had time to pick his spot for the cross. And although Stepney got a hand to Osgood's header, he couldn't keep the ball out of the net. Hudson. Baldwin. On for Osgood, and a bit too far on too. George Best. Morgan. Nobody wanted it. All standing looking at each other. Locke. Baldwin. Macari now for United. Webb's tackle didn't really bite. And it hit the bar and came down from Best. He's asking for the goal, but it's not being given. Quick snapshot by George Best against the underside of the bar. Impossible to say whether that went in or not from the speed of it. The referee decided not.
So Chelsea leading 2-0, and now there are just 2 minutes left.
Morgan. Greenough. Greenough again. Setting it up for Young. Good shot! Two minutes to go, and Tony Young gets his first ever goal for Manchester United. Set up for him by Greenough, and absolutely drilled into the corner. Starts here with Morgan. Greenough making himself available there, and then he just lays it off for Young. And what a fine shot that was. Chelsea still with only 10 men on the field. Buchan. Kidd. Young. And now Greenough. Yes! So in the 90th minute, Young returns the compliment. Greenough set the first one up. This time Kidd for Young. And Young gets it through to Greenough. And Greenough gets his first goal for Manchester United in only his 9th first-team game.
So a tremendous finish there, and Chelsea had to be content with a point. But I'm sure a lot of Chelsea fans who are watching that probably put a question mark against the first Manchester United goal, thinking that it might have been offside. What does the panel think?
Well, I felt that he was at least level with the last defender, Brian Kidd, and I thought that he would be offside. But these are one of the very, very difficult decisions linesmen have to give. But you see,
as Young hits it.
Yeah, Young hits it. Kidd's in the centre of the picture there, just obviously below the arrow.
Now, if he's level with the last defender, he's
then
offside.
Then he is offside. It's only a matter of inches. We are not at the best of angles, sitting watching it from here. The linesman should have been completely on the ball, but, you know, touch and go, because he was definitely interfering with the sight of the goalkeeper.
I felt that the linesman had a difficult decision to make there, but I felt that he might have been offside there.
Yeah, very debatable decision, but a hairline one that referees and linesmen are always having to take. But now we come to that competition where 36 big match records are at stake. And you remember, you had to tell us what years these events happened at Wembley. Well, I'm happy to say we had a tremendous response, and the first 36 correct answers out of the bag this week came from Michael Williams, A. Lee, Brian Matthew, Reggie Dunn, Michael Phipps, D. Mitchum, Stephen Dorr, P. Brindley, Keith Langford, Jonathan Brenner, David Finn, Stephen Burke, Martin Sarson, Alison Gilks, Peter Brotherton, Malcolm Holliday, Neil McSperrin, T. Wells. Also Andrew Valvona, D. Bishop, Tony Johnston, Alan Back, Derek Randall, Miss S. Palmer, M. Clark, Graham Nunn, Jim Clench, Wyn Thomas, John Martin, S. J. Wood, Richard Cooper, Brian Holland, Nigel Tiller, Mr. A. Henchy, Michael Edis and Mr. S.R. Langner. And they, of course, will be receiving our big match music within the next few days. Our congratulations to them. But our last match today features London's brightest team of the moment. It's, of course, Queen's Park Rangers. Yesterday, they went to Derby County, of which we've heard a thing or two in the recent past. So it's Derby against QPR. ATV covered the match. Hugh Johns is the commentator, and QPR are in the dark shirts.
Hector, McClintock sticking tight to him. Corner given away. McClintock obviously is the man who's been detailed to try and take care of this powerful goal-scoring machine, Kevin Hector. Hector going on the near post now with McClintock right behind him. Here's Hinton's corner. And that's number 2! And Daniel was so close then, sneaked in unmarked, got himself a free header at it. Never scored a goal in 101 league games for this club, and he very nearly got one then. Nish. Oh, well cut out by Leach. It's the highest yet. Bowles now. McFarlane upending Stain Bowles. It's a lot of hard treatment to Stain Bowles. So, Derby haul men back inside their box. Rangers stick 5 men forward now, including Mancini. Mancini across the box. Well out, the shot is on for Francis. And he scores it! What a good goal by Jerry Francis. The expertise then, tucking it away into the corner. 1-0 Rangers. There's a surprise. 10 minutes gone. First-class bit of opportunism. That ball knocked back by Mancini. Francis ghosting in hard and fast, and did well to keep his shot down into the corner of the net. Hinton. Mancini. No messing, just knocks it straight out for the corner. Crowd again beginning to try and raise the spirits of their Derby side. Well, we really do need a goal. Hinton's corner. Davis across the box. McFarlane couldn't get up. Roy McFarlane got under the ball, complaining, I think, that he got nudged. Hector. And McFarlane's got to get it. Oh, what a save. McFarlane completely unmarked, picked his spot, and Parks filled up the gap. McGovern, and the shot is on for Newton. McClintock knocked it away. Chances on for Hector. Good, honest goalkeeping then by Big Phil Parks. Spread himself and gathered the ball beautifully. Todd for Nish. McGovern. Daniel. Todd. Gemmell. McFarlane. Mancini away. Now Thomas for Rangers. Foul by Thomas, tripping Hinton. Hinton. Under it is Hector. The punch from Parks was positive. McFarlane hoisting it high. Davis is under it. The shot is on for McGovern. Oh, that really was unlucky. Dropping ball, hit on the volley. Kept his head, kept the ball down, but just wide of the target. McFarlane cuts gets it out. Clement as far as Leach. Newton taking it on. Gemmell. And it breaks for Hector. And it still won't go in the net. Gibbons knocking it on for Bowles. On again for Gibbons. He's on his own, there's nobody in the middle. And a corner kick is what he earns out of that particular dash. Gibbons having to go alone then because Rangers were still coming out of defence. Now with a set piece, they do venture to throw men forward. Mancini's number 5, number 9 Leach, number 11 Don Gibbons, hands on hips. On the line, Stan Bowles. Thomas with the corner. And that's number 2, Stan Bowles. Oh, what a gentle, simple goal. 19 minutes into the second half, and Stan Bowles makes it 2-0 Rangers. A set-piece move. Thomas, the corner. Number 11, Gibbons, gets a little tiny touch with his head, and there's Bowles on the line. The easiest job in the world to score. McGovern for Hector. Hector sweeps past one. Too many people there, though. And he points to the spot. Referee Jolly points to the spot for Mancini, knocking down Hector. And Venables, Mancini, McClintock, you can see the expressions on their faces. Astonished, disbelief, angry. Mancini, the angriest of the lot. He's the man who brought him down. And Mancini's still having a go at referee Jolly. So Archie Gemmell is the man on whom Derby looked at this moment. Here he goes with the penalty. And he gets it. That was beautifully tucked away, left-footed, right in the corner pocket. So the score, 2-1. 22 minutes into the second half. Burks comes. And headed away by Mancini. Oh, and they pat that balding head of Terry Mancini. Well, he gave away the penalty, but he certainly at that moment prevented Hinton equalising for Derby.
So Queen's Park Rangers now lying 8th in the First Division. Brian, did you spot anything about Derby County and their attitude or their play that had changed since you were there?
Frustration, obviously, because they were 2-0 down, and perhaps the 3-0 defeat in midweek didn't help. And a slight breakdown in discipline. You know,
what would cause a breakdown?
Well, you have to keep on to players about discipline in every aspect of the game, and if they, if you forget to tell them something in a couple of weeks, they tend to forget it.
Yeah. Well, discipline or not, Derby and QPR, I don't think are the sort of clubs you associate with tough or violent play. I was a little surprised to see that 5 players were booked yesterday. Let's have a look at those 5 bookings. Number 1 is Terry Mancini of Queen's Park Rangers.
This is a very late tackle, and a tackle from behind, and if our forwards are going to improve their play, then these sort of tackles must be booked.
Referee Wright. The second one was David Nish, again a tackle from behind.
Yes, it's a throw-in, and he throws it quite well. David Nish comes right through Bowles there, can't possibly see the ball, and if you can't see the ball, you can't get it. And to repeat what Malcolm said, if forwards are going to be allowed to hold the ball, we can't have defenders doing that.
Referee Wright again.
Completely.
Next one, Dave Clement of Queen's Park Rangers.
This is a retaliation. The incident starts here, and then you'll see Clements just put his foot on Gemmell's chest, which is a very stupid thing to do.
So you shouldn't retaliate. Referee again is right. The next one is Roger Davis.
Yes, it gets back to this frustration I was talking about, because they're not sure which way the free kick should go here. They're both pushing and shoving. The referee obviously blown for a free kick.
Watch what he does.
Roger picks the ball up and throws it. No excuse. No excuse. Realises what he's done and then tries to get out of it. This is the second time Roger's been booked in 4 days, and for a centre-forward for stupid things, it's ridiculous.
Referee Wright 4 times out of 4. The last one was Terry Venables, and the referee, Mr. Jolly, have managed to construe this as time wasting. A very nice little picture coming up in a moment that I think you're going to enjoy. Terry looking for a Rangers man to pass to. Mr. Jolly now coming across to say, I'm going to book you for wasting time. And look at Venables.
Different classes.
And then when the referee starts to put Venables' name in the book, I don't think he can spell Terry's name properly, although Terry, goodness knows, has been in the game a few years. A-B, he's saying. V-E-N-A-B.
I think that's very harsh, that booking.
Harsh booking, he says. But the referee Wright 4 times out of 5, and that's not a bad average. Well, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the programme today. Remember, we shall see you for On the Ball next Saturday lunchtime for the big match again next Sunday afternoon with Brian and Malcolm again. We leave you today, though, with another candidate for our Golden Goals competition. They do seem to be piling in week by week. And, of course, it's Fulham's second goal yesterday against Bristol City that had the stamp of class put on it by Steve Earle and the final touch by Viv Busby.